A local writer is getting accolades for his work as a senior staff writer at Elle.com.
On Coffee With, I sat down with him before the pandemic, and we talked about his new book and how he still lives in Baltimore.
Eric Thomas is famous on the internet. I've been following him on Twitter. You have this great column for Elle called Eric Reads the News.
Yeah.
And you have this new book, what we're going to talk about. But I didn't know you were from Baltimore. You're a Baltimore guy.
I am born and raised. I grew up in Upton.
Here. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I grew up in Upton. I lived in the same house for like the first 25 years of my life. And I went to UMBC really briefly. And I moved to Philadelphia, and that's where I sort of started writing plays and writing my column. And so a lot of people assume that I'm like from Philly or from New York. And no, I'm a Baltimorean. Like, I have opinions about crab cake and, and chicken boxes, just like everybody else.
Yeah. So your writings, they really have an impact online. I feel like they get shared a lot, tweeted a lot. One went viral, which led you kind of on your career path.
Yeah. And it's really amazing. Like, I write a daily pop culture and politics humor column for Elle.com, and I write about whatever's happening right now, and I write about it in a way that's, funny and sometimes light, sometimes like more serious, but always funny. Very much like the essays in the book, taking like serious ideas and making them a little bit more palatable and light. And people really have this hunger for it. I don't know if you know, but like the news is bad. Like,
Newsflash, yeah.
Right. Spoiler alert. And so, but I sometimes there's not things to joke about, but sometimes we need a little bit of relief or a little bit of perspective.
So tell us about this new book, Here For It. It's a book of essays about your life.
It is, yeah. So it's about 21 different essays. They're all funny essays about growing up and coming into my own in Baltimore and then a little bit in Philly. It's about identity, and so it's about taking ideas about Black identity, queer identity, Christian identity, American identity, and figuring out the ways that they like intersect, and sometimes they come in conflict with each other. It's stories about, I have this thing, I grew up downtown, and I love I love city life, even though sometimes the city was a little bit scary, I am terrified of suburbs. But I went to school I went to Park out in Brooklynville, and so I would go over to my friends' houses and I'd be like, this is the set of a horror movie, right?
This is not safe.
Right, yeah.
Something's hiding.
There's woods and like the sounds of crickets, terrifying.
Yeah, that's scary.
And so but I'm writing about like the differences in perspective and what we think is safe and not safe, but I'm writing about it in a funny way. So it's essays like that.
Everyone says it's hilarious. Why do you live in Baltimore? Because I assumed you were in New York City or LA.
That is an interesting question that I get a lot. Well, my husband is the pastor of Maryland Presbyterian Church in Towson. And so he got the job out there, and it brought us back here. And I was like, Lord, all of the places.
This is what you picked.
Like maybe not, like maybe a church in Brooklyn or whatever, maybe like First Presbyterian of like Hollywood, I don't know what. But I love it. I love the congregation there. I love being back here. My parents are here. I have a brother here. And Baltimore's changed so much.
Yeah.
When I left 15 years ago, there were maybe like 2 or 3 theater companies, maybe 5.
Yeah.
And now there's like 40 theater companies. There are so many different food places. And so like food and theater are my 2
big things.
big things. Yeah.
Our time is up, and I'm so sad because I want to hang out here on the couch with you forever. But Here For It is available wherever books are sold now. And our Eric Thomas, you can follow him online. What's your handle? Is it
It's
just your
Our
name?
Eric. OURERIC. Our Eric.
And you can find him on Elle.com too.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this with news, traffic, and weather.